Guys, Romy here, back again. This time we're doing another news update video. This time we're going to be covering the brand new item that's being teased here for the weapon power tree. It says freshly forged. Let's go ahead and watch the teaser video real quick, and then we'll speculate what we think it may be. Let's go ahead and watch it. Let's go. Alright. So clearly weapon power. What I find awkward is they keep showing the blue clouds, like the red and blue. When you think of blue, what do you think? I think of crystal power, right? So like, I'm kind of curious if maybe the blue is a reference to some kind of effect that already exists in the crystal tree that they're bringing over to have an equivalent in the weapon power tree. So when I think of that, I think, okay, well, what are the items that don't exist in the weapon power tree? That's like aftershock, right? That effect. So maybe we might see an equivalent to aftershock when you use an ability, you actually have it to where it'll do increased damage on next basic attack. Or we have breaking point, which is similar to BM in loosely, but it's not quite built up the same. BP is built up through breaking points, built up through damage over time. How much damage you're doing to your hero, and you get stacks accordingly. Whereas broken myth is simply based on how long you've been in combat. So maybe that's something that will be brought into the weapon power side, another way to stack up damage. Now if you're in combat longer than X amount of seconds, you'll get up to a max amount of stacks to have amped damage. So there's that. Alternating current is another one too that doesn't really exist. I mean, they do have an attack speed item, obviously, tornado trigger, and amongst others. But the effect of it doesn't exist per se. So doing increased damage on every other basic attack would be kind of cool, but at the same time, like I don't know, that'd be a little bit weird. I would think that it'd just be better to just build attack speed and then hard damage instead of just going an alternating current route. Because alternating current exists because crystal power builds usually don't have great basic attack damage, and therefore alternating current exists for that reason, to help, you know, fix some of that issue. But weapon power doesn't have that issue, so they don't really need that item. So I don't think alternating current effect's going to be coming over. Maybe aftershock, maybe BM. I might be missing something else here, but maybe one of those two. As far as maybe some new effects, I'm only speculating here. I don't really know exactly what would be the actual effect, but I can only assume there's two items that come to mind when I think of a MOBA, and that exists in every other MOBA but doesn't exist in this one. And the first one that comes to mind is an offensive activatable item. And what do I mean by that? So for instance, if you're Glaive and you're chasing an enemy hero, you don't have energy, you can't afterburn them, you don't have boots off cooldown, so you can't chase them effectively. You're just running by default run speed, and you just can't quite reach him, but he's so close to dead. Well, if you have this activatable item, once you activate it and then you target an enemy, it will do % damage based on their missing health. So if they're low, they take some pretty good amount of damage, and it's like a finisher item. But of course it has a pretty long cooldown, but at least you have a means as a melee hero to hit a ranged target. So that's kind of what I think it might be. And if it's not, please bring that item to the game, because that'd be amazing. I don't know. There might be repercussions of that as far as imbalances, but I think that'd be a really cool item to have. The other one I can think of is, I definitely, heroes in weapon power have some serious energy problems. Like, I was playing Glaive, and I'm gonna release a Glaive tonight, where I would afterburn and it'd take half my energy, and it's just like, okay, I guess I got one more afterburn in me, and I'm done. So I can see them bringing some sort of item that allows you to regen a bit better. So maybe having more energy regen in a weapon power item, because they don't really have that at all. So while you can get Halcyon Chargers, a lot of times that's not the ideal situation for a weapon power carry, because you want to be fast and nimble, so you want to be getting journey boots in most cases. And therefore, I think that Maybe that might be an item that they bring that has weapon power stats, so it has damage and such, and maybe some other effect. But another thing it might have is it has energy regen. So maybe something like that. But I'm thinking it's probably more so like an offensive activatable item. That would be really, really cool. And I can definitely see the perks of that. So for instance, things like Cruel, or I don't know, Cruel's kind of meta right now, but you know, like Rona. People who have hard times chasing down enemies once like they get away, like they get within a certain distance away and you can't do anything anymore. Well, if you have that offensive, you know, item, if they're really low, you can finish them off with that item. But anyways, there we go. There's my speculation on the item. Hopefully I am right in some regards. But again, hopefully you guys are excited just like I am. If you guys like this series, definitely leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Later.